What's good in the hood, peeps? We're in the building. We're in the building. As always, quick thumbs up from someone to say, Ade, we can hear you loud and clear. Would be nice. Can you hear me? Wait. Let's have a quick look. Yep. Okay, the usual football one saying here. 3-2 United. I can take it. I can take it. Let's do this. Oh, mate. Let me just adjust this quickly. I've been doing a bit of painting, a bit of graft. Can't lie to you guys. I was tempted not to do this today. I was like, you know what? Liverpool lost. I ain't fucking filming. But it doesn't hurt as much when you expect to lose. Like I expected us to lose at Old Trafford. Can't lie to you. We've been dog shit. So it doesn't hurt as much. All right, before we get started, I just want to say, just shout out a couple of names on the live stream and just say thank you. Pound for Pound Boxing's in the building. Avi Scholes is in the building. Avi Scholes is always in the building. Muzi Moyo's in the building. Stephen Ford's in the building. Akil Gordon Beckford's here. Jeez, a lot of you are here. A lot of you keep coming back. GT's here. I appreciate it, people. Ed Bull, I really appreciate it. A lot of people are still here. Little Nush, David Tron. I think it's nice and polite just to say thank you. Thomas Hone, Joe Barrow. Salute to you all. Salute to you all, people. All right. We are obviously going to chat boxing. No doubt we're going to chat boxing, but I think it'd be stupid not to talk about Conor McGregor. He is a boxer, right? He's had a fight, and there was a lot of talk about him fighting Manny Pacquiao. A lot of talk, to the point where that fight was done if McGregor won. If McGregor beat Poirier last night, he was going to have a Manny Pacquiao fight. Fact. Now, though, obviously that fight's dead in the water, and he's more likely to fight Jake Paul. Let's be honest with you. I thought McGregor yesterday, you know what I thought? Even in the lead up to it, I just thought he looked old. Now, I don't know if that's because of the haircut. I don't know what it was, but even his body shape for me just looked like an old man. And he's only 32. And to be fair, 155 pounds, I think, is his best weight class. 145 is killing himself. 170 is just too small. But I thought he looked old in there. Look, McGregor's got good hands. But for someone that has been fighting MMA as long as he is, look, who am I to discredit McGregor? He's the champ, right? He knocked out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds. He slept Eddie Alvarez. But, I mean, for his inability not to check calf kicks and leg kicks when he's been doing this for so long, it's crazy. Honestly, I think it's crazy. My theory about the whole thing and just Conor McGregor is I think he should stop. Honestly, I don't know why he does it anymore. He clearly has a lot of money, right? He clearly has other business interests. And I think those business interests are going to kind of take a bit of a nosedive if he keeps losing. Like McGregor's business interests are good and big because McGregor's big and good. If McGregor becomes some sort of gatekeeper at 155 pounds, those business interests will take a nosedive. Maybe not his proper whiskey, but other things, all the sponsors that kind of follow him. So if I'm him, I'm stopping. I'm going to read a few of your comments in a minute. If I'm him, I'm done. Like, you've become champ. You've made hundreds of millions of dollars. Your family's set up. Again, you've got other ventures outside of MMA. Like, the guys that he's fighting right now are just hungry. Like, they're coming in on a plane. Fucking McGregor's coming in on a yacht. $150 million yacht. I mean, what are you doing? To me, there's just no hunger there. You compare that to the McGregor that came through. And the hunger even to get a 50 grand fight night bonus was just incredible. Now, it's not there, is it? It's not there. He done okay in the first round. But It's not there. He's always had this cardio problem as well, by the way. Like, to the point where if it goes past 2 rounds, you think McGregor's going to lose. Even though he went 5 with Diaz and won, but let's be honest, he was hanging on the last couple. It's just a shame. It's just a shame to see someone deteriorate like that. He clearly doesn't live the life either. I know that for a fact, by the way. He does not live the life. So, I don't know. What I don't want people to do, though, because I was going back and forth with someone on Twitter. Again, guys, 100%, I will start to read some of the comments in a minute, I do promise. What I don't want people to do is start to disregard his body of work prior to this. I hate when people say things like, oh, he's a bum, he was always shit, overhyped, just a mouthpiece. No, he wasn't. I mean, again, he knocked out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds. Jose Aldo hadn't been beaten for nearly 10 years. He beat Eddie Alvarez by going up to 155 pounds. He beat Dustin Poirier. Yes, it was a young Max Holloway, but beat Max Holloway. Chad Mendes, some good wins on that resume. But the guys right now are just too hungry. Far too hungry, and they're killers. They're killers in that lightweight division. I mean, and let alone 170. He was talking about going to 170. The killers up there. No, like I think he should call it quits personally, but we'll see what he does. A couple of people. Let me go to the top actually and read some of your comments about Conor. The legacy is done. The legacy can't be done just because you take losses. Like, that body of work doesn't get deleted. Again, champ, right? Everyone talks about champ now because a couple of other people have done it. Amanda Nunes has done it. Daniel Cormier has done it. Champ shit ain't easy. Henry Cejudo done it. Conor was the first to do champ. No, he wasn't. Wait, I think Randy Couture back in the day. But to hold him at the same time, Conor, that legacy isn't done. Let's have a look. Ade versus Hatman Strikes Back. I do not want that, boy. Hatman Strike Back is the G. Poirier is a G. Good. Poirier is a G. Like, this is the thing as well. For the MMA casuals that maybe don't know too much about Dustin Poirier, if you see the names on his resume, because you might be a super casual, you might think, who are they? He has beaten a who's who. Apart from that loss to Khabib, literally he has been Justin Gaethje, Eddie Alvarez, Pettis. Like, literally, he's running through people. Conor now, Max Holloway twice. Justin Gaethje is no slouch. So for everyone that's saying it was a super upset, it actually wasn't a super upset. I mean, Dustin Poirier is the busier of the two. He's the one that's been fighting. Conor fights once every 14 months average in the last 2-3 years. That's what Conor's been doing. I mean, boy, just not serious. All right, what are people saying? Sorry. A couple of questions about Dillian White in here. Shall I read that one now? Scott Arbuckle quickly says, Ade, how can Sky make the Dillian White pay-per-view worth it? Don't think they can at the moment. They're spreading a lot of their talent thin, aren't they? On that kind of list of fight cards they're doing, they are spreading the talent thin. I don't know what they can add to the Dillian White card to make it any more pay-per-view worthy. Basically, even when it's a pay-per-view fight, we're being honest, what we tune in for is the main event. Like, if the main event is so good, you don't necessarily care about the undercard. So I guess for people to make a complaint, even like myself, about White Povetkin being pay-per-view, it's because we're not too pumped about White Povetkin. If we were so pumped about White Povetkin, we wouldn't care about the undercard so much. Fabio Wardley's on it though, I think, isn't it, against Eric Molina? That's a decent scrap, by the way. But yeah, I don't think they can add anything to it. I don't think they are going to add anything to it as well. Billy Hamilton says, Wagwan Ade. Wagwan Billy. Kieran, Malcolm, big up, hashtag big up Ade. Hashtag big up you, Kieran. Pound for Pound Boxing says, like the show. Hit the like button, please, people. 300 of you watching, it'll be nice, thank you. If you can, hit the like button. I really appreciate it if you can. All right, let's get some. Jake Jansen says he loves this more than a Joe Rogan show. Don't gas me, Jake. Don't gas me. That's the greatest thing in the world, Joe Rogan. I love it. I absolutely love it. Core Comms, what's good, Ade? What's good, Core Comms? What's good? I'm not even reading the fucking Man United trolls that are in here. Not even reading news. God. Yeah, I do wonder though if they will make the Conor Jake Paul fight, because Conor's actually responded to him finally. I do wonder if they're going to make that fight. I doubt it, but by the way though, it's very quick to come back in the UFC. It isn't like boxing where if you lose, we kind of just go at you and that's it. It's very quick. Like all it takes is Conor to fight someone like a Tony Ferguson, who's in and around sort of number 7 or 6 in the lightweight division. Beat Tony Ferguson, he's back there. That's how quick the UFC turn it around. We don't sit on a loss like we do in boxing like that. I mean, all of those guys, again, I don't know how many of you guys are MMA guys, but there's a lightweight tournament going on right now. Well, a kind of unofficial lightweight tournament. Khabib is obviously the champion. He's never lost. Everyone else in that lightweight tournament's lost numerous times. Like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, Dan Hooker was fighting yesterday. I think he's lost like 9 times. So it's not that big a thing to lose as it is in boxing. 2 secs. John Brett Smith says, has the hunger and desire gone? Has to have gone. Has to have gone. like these guys fight for money, right? Prize fighting. When you have all the prizes, what are you doing it for? Like, it must be so difficult. That's why my respect for Floyd is through the roof, because Floyd still had that hunger right into the end. But I mean, again, you're coming into this event on a yacht. I mean, you're pulling up in Rolls Royces. I mean, I just don't think you can have that same hunger when you're coming through and you're broke and you need those 50 grand, 100 grand checks just to kind of put a roof over your head. I just don't think you can have that same hunger. I mean, he will tell you he can, and he will say that he's doing everything he can in the training camp. I just don't believe you can. Honestly, I don't believe you can. That's my own thought on it. Yeah. Jack Sheridan says, hi, Ade. Just got in from work. Not had a chance to check the score. Did Liverpool win? Cheers, Jack. It's just what I needed. Thank you very much. David Mardy says, I think the Floyd fight ended him. No, no, not at all. A couple of fights. I think the first Diaz fight was a wake-up call. That was his first big loss in the UFC. Lost before that, but that was the first big loss. The Khabib fight ruined him. The whole build-up, everything was just tense and dark, and the way he got choked out by Khabib, literally, do you know what I mean? That ruined him. That would fuck your ego up a little bit. I think that's what's happened. That, and maybe you're right in the sense of the Floyd fight because of the money. So we'll see. We'll see. Base the kids in the building. Base, what's good, brother? I done an Addy and friends with Base. I've not even put it up yet. We're gonna Base. I promise I'll put it up today. No, tomorrow. Tomorrow, guys. I'm on Sky tomorrow. Check me out. Transfer show. Must be weird watching me here than watching me on Sky, but I'm on Sky tomorrow. Someone says Diaz trilogy possible. All right, last couple of minutes on Conor because I do want to talk about AJ Fury, Warrington, Canelo, a couple of bits for boxing. Don King has a pay-per-view event with Manuel Charr and who is it? It's gonna bug me. That is Trevor Bryan. Bermain Stavern's on the card. Bermain Stavern is on this card as well, and it's pay-per-view. American pay-per-views are hilarious. Clarissa Shields got a pay-per-view event. Maybe it's because broadcasters ain't taking them, so they've got to like just put them on pay-per-view. What we got here? Colin Bell says, I would still love to see the trilogy with Nate Diaz. Very possible. Now that Nate is 100% coming back down to 155 now as well, it is possible. And this is what I was talking about. Like, we haven't seen Nate Diaz, I don't think, since Jorge Masvidal. He got beat quite badly in that fight, although I think the referee stopped it prematurely. He got beat. He can come back. There's fights. It isn't like boxing where you're one and done. It isn't like that at all. You can lose and come back. Brendan Smith says, don't give up on Conor. I think Conor's given up on himself, Brennan, if I'm honest with you. I would love to hear from Conor's coach as to what really goes on behind the scenes, because I don't believe Conor's training like he says he's training. Not like the way some of these other kids are training. Like, I don't believe Conor's training like Khabib trains. No way. No way, Jose. All right, let's talk. Let's talk Fury Joshua for a couple of minutes. I know it's a boring subject, but it is the biggest fight possible in the last few years, right? Now, Top Rank, or say Top Rank, Bob Arum spoke to, I think it was TalkSport actually, and said that contracts are being sort of written up and sent over this week. First draft of contracts. Now, I don't know. I don't know where we are with it. I don't know what's going on with it. But that's positive, right? That's positive. I'm still on the belief that this fight happens and it happens next. I actually believe that Wilder now is to the side. And I think Usyk's now going to the side as well. So I do think we are going to get a Fury Joshua fight, and I do think we get it this year. I would actually predict that we get it in the summer. I think we get it in the summer, and I think it happens in Saudi Arabia. You don't have to be Mystic Meg to work that out. That's what I believe, and I think that's what happens. I'm going to talk a bit about it more. Just in a couple of super chats. CRB super chat. Thank you, brother. Says, take note, boxing fans. That's how you treat losses. That is how you treat losses. 100%. Move on from it. Not a problem. If the best fight the best, we can't laugh and complain. I'm seeing memes about Conor McGregor, and I'm like, do we not want the best to fight the best? Imagine if you're a boxer and you're a bit apprehensive about fighting someone just because you're scared you're going to take the L and then just get absolutely canned over social media. Maybe that's not how you should be thinking, but that's going to be in the back of your head a little bit. I find it weird when we get great matchups and then people take the piss out of the loser. Now, Conor doesn't help himself, right? Because he does all these bold predictions, but at least he's having the fights. I want to see more of Conor. I want to see a lot more of him. And what I do like about Conor that I think a lot of boxers should take heed from, especially boxers like Loma, is the way in which he handles a loss. Conor never vanishes, accepts it, congratulates his opponent, answers all the questions, does all the media, never hides away. You go on his social media page right now, he's put a picture of himself saying, you know, we brush ourselves off, we lost, fine. He did exactly the same thing after Khabib as well. We lost the war. He said we lost the battle, but we didn't lose the war. He knows how to take a defeat so well. And that's amazing. Honestly, it's amazing. I mean, you compare it to how Wilder's taken his defeat as an example, or even Ronda Rousey when she got beat by Holly Holm in the UFC. They can't take defeats at all. So credit to Conor. For someone with such a big ego like he's, when he gets beat, and we've seen him now get beat 3 times in the UFC, he always handles himself well. Always. Which surprises me. Jake Jansen says, Ade, no trolling, mate. I think your videos helped so many during lockdown. 100% did for me. Great for when I go running. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I mean, trust me when I say these videos help me. As much as you guys talk about the videos helping yourself, they helped me a lot as well, especially during lockdown. Lockdown was tough. So they helped me as well. Jay says, you could not say he took the Khabib loss well. No, look, obviously he was upset. I'm talking about he doesn't shy away. So that's what I mean by take a defeat well. Like, for example, when Wilder got beat by Fury, let's be honest, everyone was like, where's Wilder? We didn't hear from him for like months. Even when Naz first lost to Barrera years ago, Naz kind of done a bit of a vanishing act as well, and then he had that one more fight, then retired. It can take a toll on people that have very big egos. Ronda Rousey, when she got smacked by Holly Holm, literally ran out of the arena, done no media, and it's almost like, oh, 1 second, you can do all the media in the lead up to the fight, you can talk all the trash talk you want. When you lose, you vanish. I'm just saying I respect Conor that even when he loses, he does all the media still, doesn't disappear, almost takes a defeat like a man, chin up, and goes again. That's what I'm saying. You're right in the sense that after the Khabib one, obviously it went crazy in the octagon, but he takes a defeat really well, and I can appreciate that. Colin Bell says, yet Ronda Rousey disappeared. Literally, Ronda Rousey vanished. And I know that Ronda Rousey done some interviews after that loss to Holly Holm, and it was about the WWE, because obviously she joined up with the WWE, and she said no one is allowed to ask her any questions about the Holly Holm defeat. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it's mad. Scott Arbuckle says AJ and McGregor took their losses very well indeed. Very well indeed. Amandeep Johal says, the Gentleman Jack is finishing quick, Ade. It is. Oh, it's going quick, boy. It's going quick. Yeah. I don't know, man. It went too quick, right? It went too quick. CRB says, contracts sent over, laughing my ass off, just like Pacquiao December the 5th. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Miles Abbott saying, Ade back with, he's saying in the title, gun to the head, do you think he should retire? I think he should retire. 100%. Maybe I'm built differently, but people stay along in combat sports far too long, like way too long. Like you look at James Toney, one of my best fighters from the 90s and early 2000s. Look at him now, can barely, so punch drunk. I mean, look at a UFC legend in Chuck Liddell, punch drunk. You stay around in this sport for too long. Most people stay around because of that, right? They want that last big paycheck. Conor's got so much of that. Like, forget just he's fighting money. I mean, he's August McGregor suit. He's proper whiskey. I don't know how many barrels of that he must sell. He's fine financially. He's won everything. Go. That's what I think. I think he should go. Adam UK says, Ade, I've been subscribed for over a year and I half love the channel. I hope that means you love the channel and you don't just love half of the channel. All right, Billy Hamilton. All right, let's talk AJ. Let's talk AJ Fury. Billy Hamilton says Fury is going to use his jab and control the fight. We'll wait and see, right? We'll wait and see. This is the thing about boxing and fights. No one knows really, do we? We all guess. I mean, you get all these. It makes me laugh because like, I always admit, guys, I'm not an expert at this thing. I'm not expert at predicting fights. I'm not. But you get all these so-called experts that predict the fights and this is how it's going to play out, and it never happens. This is the beauty of boxing. I mean, we no one knows. So we'll see when it goes down, won't we? We'll see. Bright Nas TV says, Ade, the fight should go Joshua versus Fury and not the other way around because AJ has got more on the table. Interesting. As he got more on the table, WBC and Ring versus WBA, IBF, and WBO. I'll tell you now, can I be very honest with you? If you were to ask boxers, what belts would you prefer? Don't count the IBO, by the way. The WBC and the Ring belt, Ring recognized #1, or the WBO, WBA, and IBF. I think most boxers would go WBC and Ring. I know what you mean in terms of more hardware, AJ, but I think most would. Like for me, I know it's a shit belt now, but the WBC has always been that belt for me. Always been that belt. And the Ring has always been that belt because of the Rocky movies. It's silly, but that's what it is. I think most people would go WBC and Ring. So it's going to be interesting how that works out. It's funny how you say that because obviously the poster always has the main man or the champion first. It's going to be interesting how that works out and who's going to walk to the ring first. But that's minor. Let's just let the fight happen first and then we'll see. Super chat from David Mardy says, Ade, thoughts on McGregor versus Masvidal now? I think Masvidal, probably KOs him. Also agree on your Khabib point. However, like you said, Floyd money was big. Jorge Masvidal versus Conor McGregor. Masvidal was sleeping because that then becomes a striking match, and Conor's got better hands, I think. Even though sometimes I think Conor's hands aren't that great, by the way, but I think Conor's got better hands, but Masvidal's got leg kicks all day, and we saw what leg kicks done to Conor. Have you guys seen the photo of Conor's calf? Fucking hell, mate! It swelled up like a tennis ball. No, I'm not joking. It's like a tennis ball stuck in there. So that's just pure blood, just swelled up. So yeah, Masvidal would swallow him, and Masvidal's just naturally bigger now. Although Masvidal used to fight 155 pounds, he's just a lot bigger. So we'll see. IA predictions on press conference between AJ and Fury. AJ is just too laid back and humble for Fury would control the press conference because AJ is a bit more laid back. I mean, really and truly, you want to see like a Dillian White versus a Fury at a press conference, just so you can get Dean White and then Shane Fury and Peter Fury. That's a press conference. Yusuf Patel says, Ade, what are your thoughts on the talks of Ryan Garcia versus Manny Pacquiao? It's a complete mismatch to me. Yeah, I saw this, and I don't know how much of I believe on it. I saw Mike Coppinger retweeted that talks have begun. Again, look, it might be based on the fact that we were supposed to see, that can't be right, that we were supposed to see Manny Pacquiao versus Conor McGregor. Maybe that's what it is. And now Pac-Man's just desperate to fight anyone. I think it's bullshit. It makes no sense whatsoever. I don't see what... Pac-Man should be stripped of his belt. It's got to the stage now where Pac-Man hasn't defended that belt. I know we've been in COVID, but Errol's defended his belt. Terrence defended his belt. Pac-Man should be stripped. Pac-Man should be stripped and let one of the young kids, Jaron Ennis or Virgil Ortiz, fight for a vacant belt. That's what should happen. Jesus Christ, man. Ben Odom, £300 super chat. Let me have a drink. Fuck me. Ade, hope you and your viewers are well. All my life I've been obsessed with football and boxing, but arm wrestling over the past 12 months has really captured my focus. The characters, the charisma, rivalries, Europeans, Russians, and Americans is unparalleled. Watch Larry Well's latest video. Oh my God, Ben, are you stalking my fucking YouTube feed? Dude, I was just literally watching Larry Wills. I'm a Larry Wills fan. Trust me, big fan. Have been a big fan of Larry Wills for about 4 years actually, so I'm not new to this. And obviously he's arm wrestling that monster. But yeah, I've been into it. You know, in fact, let me tell you, I've actually been into arm wrestling since a Sylvester Stallone movie called Over the Top. Don't know if you guys have ever seen it. Like kind of pop trash film from, I'm going to say from around 92, 93. And when Sylvester Stallone, he gets into that arm wrestling position, and he says he turns his hat, because this is so silly, he turns his hat, and that basically means he's on, he's ready to go. And that arm wrestling movie is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube, Over the Top. Ben, big super chat, salute you, brother. Honestly, all the time, thank you. But guys, if you are into your arm wrestling, your bodybuilding, just crazy feats of strength, Larry Wills' YouTube channel, you probably know it. He's got like 1.5 million subscribers. Go and check that out. A1DX super chat here says, what's your opinion on Kid Galahad potentially signing to PBC? That came as a surprise. I can't lie to you. You know when you think you know what's going on in the boxing world? I didn't have a clue about this. Didn't have a clue. So what I do kind of want to know is, does he have one more fight left with Matchroom? I have no idea what's going on, which kind of now makes sense as to why he didn't fight during this period of Eddie putting fights on in his back garden and all the other fights that have happened. That is interesting. I think what you've got to do now because boxing is so fucked up, I guess, what you've got to do, you've got to look at what weight class you're in and what weight class you can potentially go. So if it's Kid Galahad, he's thinking 126, 130, and you've got to go to the promoter or broadcaster that has most of those 126, 130 guys. That's what you've got to do. So that's probably what Kid Galahad's looking and thinking, all right, where can I get the best fights? 126, 130, who can I go to? I don't know if that's with PBC, but that's obviously what he's doing. So I don't know. I'm not quite sure, man. What's funny about all of this, might as well touch on it now, Josh Warrington vacating and Kid Galahad possibly fighting for the vacant belt. What's funny is, obviously Josh Warrington was with Frank at the time. Kid Galahad signed to Matchroom. A lot of people thought Kid Galahad won that fight. I didn't. I thought it was a close fight. I didn't think it was a robbery by any stretch of the imagination. I thought it was a close fight, boring, could have gone either way. Very boring, especially when you consider Warrington's previous fights against Lee Selby and Carl Frampton. Now, Eddie Hearn has obviously appealed to the IBF and lobbied for a rematch and putting Kid Galahad back into a mandatory position, which he did. Obviously, hence why Kid Galahad is going to be fighting for a vacant belt. At the time, Josh Warrington was with Frank. If Josh was with Eddie at the time, he would never have done that. He'd done that because obviously Josh was with Frank, and now we're in this weird position where Josh is vacated and Kid's going to fight for it. Kid's going to fight for a vacant belt. Some people have said that Josh is ducking Kid Galahad. What are you ducking Kid Galahad for? It's not about that. Sometimes it's about pounds and pence and what makes big fights. And if he feels like Zhu Can and Gary Russell Jr. are bigger fights than Kid Galahad, which I think they are, then you go for those. You go for those. You can. It's definitely a bigger fight. And Gary Russell's way bigger. Like, way bigger. Those are the kind of fights you want, right? You don't want to fight Kid Galahad again. It was a boring, dull fight. You won, you move on. That's my interpretation of it anyway. New one says you should be sponsored by whiskey. No, I should be. I am actually working on a sponsor for the channel. I'm actually thinking about where we go with it. But for now, I'm cool with how it is. But, fucking hell, drink so much bloody whiskey. Funny thing is, I don't actually drink. It seems like I drink a lot. I don't actually drink that much. I mean, a glass here or a glass there, but I don't like stay at home and fucking don't do that. Pound for pound boxing, great inspiration to me, Ade. Why I started a channel myself. If you started a channel, guys, go and check out Pound for Pound Boxing. Let's go and support him if he has a channel. Let's have a look. Sorry, we've missed quite a few questions, haven't we? I'm scrolling down. Someone says, Ade, you missed super chats. I think my my thing freezes. Sure, I have missed a couple. I'm gonna go back up in a minute. Mr. T King Texas, super chat from the USA with love. You a sucker. I hate the fact that he's done a super chat, so I've got to read it. He's called me a sucker. But Mr. T King Texas, I know you're joking. Peace and love. Peace and love. Someone said, Ade, I reckon Ade sent himself the £300 super chat. Certainly fucking didn't. Certainly didn't. Dave says, Ade, is there any mainstream sport you don't like talking about? No, there isn't. Literally, I'm not joking. I think I would compete with anyone if it was just sporting knowledge about all sports. Like, as a kid, growing up in a house with like two older brothers who love sport, my sister ran for the local county. I ran for my county as well, actually, Essex schools. We've always been a family of sports and we just loved it. My dad got me into darts and snooker. Like, he was crazy snooker fan, crazy Steve Davis fan. So I kind of just grown up watching all sports. My favorite sport, believe it or not, is probably athletics. I know it sounds a bit random. Athletics probably my favorite sport. Boxing would be second. Football, but I say football, it's more Liverpool than football. Football, tennis, like, love tennis. Love snooker, love darts, can't lie to you. Love NBA. NBA is not a sport, but love basketball. Don't really follow the NFL, don't understand it. Need to understand it a bit more, don't understand it. All right, super chat here from A1DX says, okay, that's the one that came in. I read that already, haven't I? So we are up to date. I think we are up to date. Yeah, we are up to date. Cool. All right, cool. Someone says, Jester Valentine says, £300 super chat. I'm in the wrong business. You're in the wrong business. I'm in the wrong business as well. Because I actually go onto other people's channels and do super chats. I actually like donate to people myself. But I can't lie to you, I don't go more than like, I think the most I've ever gone in my life is 20. Like normally like a $5 or a $10. So yeah, you're in the wrong business. We're both in the wrong business. All right, let's read a couple of questions. Someone saying they remember Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. Go and watch it. Honestly, great movie. Like just, you know, like when you want to watch a movie just for a bit of trash. Like Rocky 4 is that movie, trash. You know what it is? Trash. But it's fun. Like you don't have to be a fucking Einstein professor to get the story and follow it through. Over the Top is that as well. Sylvester Stallone's got a couple of movies that I think are quite trash but good. Lock Up was a good one. Remember Lock Up? Anyone remember Lock Up? 90s. And he gets sent to prison for the dumbest reason ever. And then in the prison, obviously, he gets beat up, fights, all that kind of stuff. It's very interesting. Go and watch Lock Up if you can. Cobra, another Sylvester Stallone trashy movie. Oh, man. Clement, I'm going to butcher this name. Lupa Vicianu. I think I got that correct. All the best, Ade. I follow you a lot. How can I get in touch with you? I want to send you a nice bottle of whiskey. I can't wait for that meeting you promised us in YouTube Center. It's weird how that happened. So I wanted to do a YouTube Center meeting, and I also wanted to do a thing at Box Park, like an Ade and Friends in Box Park, where the chair's there, Johnny Nelson, a couple of people, there. Get Robbie Lyle from Arsenal Fan TV. But then lockdown happened. Fuck, it was supposed to happen last year, May, then just lockdown happened. Crazy. Clement, my email address is in my description. Send me an email. 100% do. Send me an email. Thank you very much as well for the super chat. Really appreciate it, bro. Really, really appreciate it. Billy Hamilton. Guys, you know what? Just get any questions in. We'll run through some boxing, but we'll have a bit of fun with some random questions as well. Billy Hamilton says, what's your favorite movie of all time? Godfather 2. Godfather 2 or 1? You know why I say 2? Because 2 had De Niro and Al Pacino at the peak acting. So that's probably one of my favorite movies of all time. In terms of recent movies, like movies in the last sort of 5 to 10 years, I do like No Country for Old Men. I fucking love that movie. Great acting again. I like most things with Josh Brolin in him. I think he's a great actor. Favorite actor? What's that guy that only does a movie like every fucking 5 or 6 years, wins an Oscar, then just calls it quits? Can't remember his name. He's in Gangs of New York. Why has his name skipped my head? You guys know what I'm talking about. The greatest actor of all time, by far. Like, gets into his roles. What is his fucking name? Gonna bug me. Anyway, let's talk boxing. Darren James says, Ade, have you heard any more about what's happening with Bridgerweight? I haven't. Although I did see something from the IBO, and they're doing their own version of it as well, but they're not calling it Bridgerweight. How weird, people. Frank Lunan says, Ade, are you into American sports? I've really become fond of the NBA in particular. Would you ever talk about NBA on this channel? Guys, that's a good question. I am into American sports, but again, more NBA. I'm not NFL and baseball. I went to Washington a couple of years ago and watched a baseball game, and I fucking nearly fell asleep. I was like, what is this? Like 4 hours. It literally went on for like 4 hours, and I was like, what are we doing here? So mainly NBA, just because growing up, massive basketball fan, and you just get into it. Right? So massive NBA fan. I do want to talk more sports on this channel. I do want to, you know what I want to do? Because I think because of Sky and TalkSport and a couple other channels I work for, I'm really close now with a couple of sports people. So I would love to interview them on this channel. Not just boxers, but footballers, athletics guys, tennis people. So if people don't mind, I know it's called Boxing Talk with Ade, but I do want to change the channel to Ade Talks. It'll still be majority boxing, like 80% boxing, but I do want to interview other people. Like Andy Cole wants to come on and do something. It'd be nice to talk to Andy Cole on the channel. All right, let's have a look. Volts UK says, Ben's wife just left him. What Ben? Hope you ain't talking about Nigel. What are we doing now? Jason Leonard says, what do you think of the MTK situation? That crazy. Isn't there a Panorama story coming out, I think, like next week, talking about boxing and the mob, or boxing and its gangland ties? Look, for me, to be honest with you, I've always felt like boxing was built by gangsters and the mob. So I'm not surprised by any like gangster involvement in boxing. Nothing surprises me at all, if I'm honest with you. I do wonder if that's why the government haven't helped or like invested in boxing. Like, everyone knows boxing's semi-corrupt, right? I mean, this isn't news to us, but then again, so are other sports. Like FIFA and UEFA are corrupt. So it's weird as everyone gets this thing about MTK and obviously the connection with drugs and all that kind of stuff. Football is as corrupt as you can get. As corrupt as you can get. So it's not just boxing, it's all sports. But mainly, football is way more corrupt than boxing, put it that way. Scott Arbuckle says, Ade, what does Josh Kelly do if he wins? Obviously, he's got that fight against Avanesian coming up. Oh, I missed the question. Shit. It just disappeared. So many questions have come in. Guys, sorry, Scott. I think you asked, what does Kelly do if he beats Avanesian? Is Ben ready? They're making Ben get ready by giving Ben Samuel Vargas. If Ben gets past Samuel Vargas with a devastating performance, then he's ready for Josh Kelly. Even though some might say Samuel Vargas is coming to the end, let's not forget Samuel Vargas got knocked out by Virgil Ortiz who some people already think is a top 10 welterweight in the world, right? Really good prospect. So I don't know. I don't know. Ed Bull, Ed Bull says, I really enjoy female high jumps. Ed, stop it. Ed, stop it. I know where you're going. I know where you're going. All right, I think I might have missed a couple of super chats. Apologies, just double checking because I don't want to get there again. Dave says, Cobra, you're the disease, I'm the cure. Class film. 80s and 90s films were the greatest things ever. I don't want to hear it. In terms of just action men, like, is there such a thing as action men now? Like, who are the action men now? What is it, fucking Avengers? we ain't got no action men. Anytime I want to watch a bit of action, man, like, the other day I watched Die Hard 1 and 2 back to back again, just to give me that real man feeling. There ain't no action men anymore. There ain't none. There's so many back then. Come on, man. I was proper back then. All right, let's go. Jester Valentine says, Demolition Man, Tango and Cash, both fun Stallone films. Yeah, Tango and Cash with Kurt Russell, fantastic. Fantastic. Again, how they end up, the storylines are so whack, but fantastic nonetheless. All right, Daniel Day-Lewis, everyone's responding. That's who the greatest actor of all time is. Daniel Day-Lewis. Jesus Christ, he was good. All right, Mr. Ish T. Guys, I'm just going random now. Let's just go random. We will talk boxing. We'll talk a bit of everything, innit? Fuck it. It's just Sunday night. Mr. Ish T says, top 5 chocolates. I can't lie to you. If I go to a shop, I think the first thing I look at for some reason is a Snicker bar. I don't know if you guys are old enough to know that it was once called Marathon. But Snicker bar is the first thing I look to. The second thing I look to is a Kit Kat. The third thing is a Bounty. After that, whatever. What we got here? All right, let's talk boxing now. I moved away too much. Let's have a little bit of boxing talk. Avi Skull says, Ade, like the Mayweather-McGregor PCs, do you think AJ Fury ones should have fans? I think it makes the whole thing a much bigger spectacle. Yeah, 100%. Basically, Avi, sorry, are you asking, should AJ Fury have fans? Is that what you're saying? If that's what you're saying, then yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's what you're saying, but hopefully that's what you're saying. 100%. Like, there's no way that fight goes on behind closed doors. There's no way whatsoever. That fight has to have fans. Has to. And not like 2,000 fans or what, has to have as many fans as humanly possible. If that's what you're saying. I don't know if that is what you're saying though. Pound for pound boxing says, I don't think Bridgerweight is an entirely bad idea. The size difference between some heavyweights is insane. It is, but then, I don't know. Like, it was insane for people like Joe Frazier, who done quite well against some heavyweights, a lot bigger than him. Don't know, man. I hate the idea of just new weight classes. Because then, problem is then when you want to compare fighters from different eras, it's almost like, yeah, it makes the discussion so much harder. But look, we'll see what happens. 2-6. 2 seconds, people. Someone saying here, Bruno Fernandez. Whatever. Gary M says, what's your best diet you would recommend? Gary, you know what? I'm fucking all over the place right now. I actually eat quite healthy, but I'm all over the place right now. So you don't want to ask me. Ask me in about a month's time. Honestly, I'm wearing baggy hoodies for a reason, bro. I am all over the place right now. Someone said I should watch the Super Bowl and go live. No interest. I couldn't. I think I could only name you a couple of NFL players. Don't even know anything about it. It's almost like I don't even want to begin to try and learn. I feel like I'm struggling because I try and juggle so many sports. It'd be too hard. Too hard. Ash R says Tyson Fury's manager is a gangster. They're all gangsters, Ash R. They're all gangsters. Daddy Poet Hamed says, no, get a new channel for Ade Talks. Maybe. Scott Arbuckle says, Ade, surely Billy Joe Saunders gets the Canelo fight in May. Yes, he does. Fact. Well, let me calm down, actually. Not fact, but I do think he gets it. Obviously, Canelo signed a 2-fight deal with Matchroom / DAZN, more Matchroom than DAZN. That first fight yielded him, will happen, no doubt about that. The second fight will be Billy Joe Saunders. What people are not talking about is the fact that Eddie Hearn and Matchroom now have the 2 biggest fighters on the planet. Say what you want to say. I know some people might say AJ is. But Canelo is number 1, AJ is number 2 for revenue. They're number 1 and 2. Matchroom, Eddie Hearn has both of them. Like, De La Hoya must be fucking livid right now because Canelo seemed to have dumped him, and in turn, everyone thought he was dumping DAZN, has come back, signed with DAZN, now inked a deal with Matchroom. Like, Eddie Hearn, I don't want to say he's taken over the game, because I do think that PBC has a bigger roster of fighters, but Eddie Hearn has the 2 biggest fighters on the planet, and well, that's incredible. Like, I know we give Eddie stick, but it's incredible. He's signed Canelo to a 2-fight deal. Why is no one talking about this? Matchroom have signed Canelo. That's a crazy move. It's a crazy move. I think people need to give Eddie a bit more credit. He has the 2 biggest fighters in the game. Do you know? And we're talking, who's the third? Is Tyson Fury the third? I don't know about number. I don't know the numbers. I'm guessing Tyson might be the third. But these guys are 1 and 2 by a bit of a stretch, you know? Bit of a stretch. I think Errol's numbers are starting to pick up. I think Pacman could jump on a pay-per-view and do well. But Canelo's number 1 by a stretch. Number 1. And I think AJ's number 2. And then the gap's quite big. So Eddie has number 1 and 2, which is solid. This is an interesting question. Andrew Yarham says, any news on Scott Fitzgerald? Think he had a good future if he can sort his personal issues out. Yeah, he's got a lot of personal issues though. I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see him in the ring again. I hope I'm wrong. I really do, because he's a character, and boxing lacks a lot of characters. But from having conversations with people that are closer to him than I am, which is very not close at all. I am anyway. He's got a lot of personal issues, so I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure at all. It's a shame. Gary M says, what do you think about Logan Paul and his fight with Floyd Mayweather? Well, the fight has been postponed according to social media. Do I believe the bullshit on social media? Not really, but that fight has been postponed because of a lack of interest. I mean, you know what it is? I think there's a lack of interest. It's because everyone and their dog knows that Floyd would play with Logan Paul. It'd actually quite be embarrassing. So I do think that there's, like, I think Floyd can fight again and make some money fighting someone again, but it has to be something that's semi-competitive. This will be embarrassing. So I think that's probably why there's a bit of a hold in it right now. J.O. Ortiz versus White is a good fight. It is a good fight, but will never happen. 2-6. Eddie Hearn is minted, someone just said. I'd like to know how much Eddie's actually worth. That's such a good, like, I wonder how much Eddie is worth. Does anyone think Eddie's worth, like, personal wealth, more than 100 million? I don't know. I don't know how rich Eddie is. 2-6. Someone saying 200 million. Park versus Joyce. Who is Park? 2-6. I feel like there's a conversation going on within the comment section. Someone's talking about Roy Jones here. All right. Let's see if I've missed any supers very quickly, and then we'll continue with the conversations. So a lot of people were very upset. This is how far Eddie and Matchroom have come. I don't know when that fight was again. I can't remember. But pound for pound boxing says Eddie Hearn has gone from Audley Harrison. Remember, he promoted Audley Harrison versus David Haye to Canelo and AJ. That's like, say what you want to say about Silver Spoon and he got a lift up from his dad. His dad gave him a lift up to fucking Audley Harrison. That's who he was. That was it. And then let's not forget as well, Audley Harrison versus David Haye was a pay-per-view. The pay-per-view was so bad and everyone complained so much, Sky Sports cancelled their pay-per-view subscription for a while. So for Eddie to go from that to where he is now, I've got to applaud that, man. I can't be one of those guys that's like, oh yeah, but his dad, I can't do that. Yeah, I know his dad gave him a bit of a lift up. Yeah, granted. But, I mean, come on. Come on, man. Oh, okay. Avi Skull says he was talking about the press conferences for AJ Fury to have fans in them. Got to have fans at the press conference. And they will. They will. But what I do hope is that if the fight is in Saudi Arabia or not in his country, they've got to have the press conferences over here. At least give us something. They can't not give us nothing. They've got to have the press conferences over here, and I'm sure they will. I think there'll be a world tour actually for it. I think there'll be a world tour. It's that big. Ishmael Johnstone super chat says, I'd prefer to see Chocolatito versus Logan Paul as an exhibition, as it would be interesting to see an elite small guy versus a huge novice. I don't even think I class Logan as a novice. I think Logan's a terrible boxer. I actually don't think Jake is. I think Jake's a decent boxer. Logan's a terrible boxer. Like, it's not even a novice. It's actually, it might be below white collar boxing. He's shit. Like, I've watched his fight against KSI. Like, I was watching his fight, the second fight against KSI, just to kind of give myself a gauge as to where he is. Obviously, look, he might have been doing a lot of improvements since then, but he's shit. He really is that bad. Like, there is no fight between him and Floyd because there shouldn't be anyway. There shouldn't be. And the thing about Floyd will play with him rather than just trying to kill him. Floyd will play with him, and then try and stop him in the 7th or 8th. Daniel White says, call me a fool, but I truly think Pac-Man beats Spence. Too fast, too experienced. What you saying? Don't want to call you a fool, Ben, but I don't think Pac-Man beats Errol. No. Not the Errol that I saw against Danny Garcia. The Errol against Danny was solid. There was nothing wrong with that performance at all. Showed that he's got the gas tank, which surprised me, to go deep into the fight as well, go all the way 12. And I thought, for a guy that's been out the ring for as long as he has, for a guy that is clearly had the accident and we don't know where he is, for him to go 12 like that, big, strong, can take a punch as well. Sean hit him a couple of times clean. Even Danny clipped him a couple of times, so he can take a punch. Look, if there's no drug testing, then Pac-Man's got a chance. Right? There was no drug testing for Furman. Let's not forget that, people. I'm not making accusations. I'm just saying that's a fact. There was no drug testing. No drug testing, he's got a chance. Drug testing, normal Pac-Man, normal human being, ain't got a chance in hell. Ain't got a chance in hell. All right. 1-2 travel 2-1 says, you laugh, but Audley Harrison was arguably Wilder's best opponent before he fought Stavern in his 33rd pro fight. I'm gonna have to look at Wilder's resume. Might have been, but then look what Wilder done to him. Like, Wilder fucking collapsed him in the corner. I remember it. Literally, Wilder, he destroyed him. That was on the undercard of David Price, Tony Thompson, wasn't it? I think. I'm pretty sure that was a Frank Maloney card. So basically what I'm trying to say is that Wilder could have obviously fought way better considering how we blew out Audley Harrison. Rizukus1 says, you never said the amount he is worth. This is Eddie Hearney's talking about, because it's only 20 million. I love how people in this world are semi-crazy. And I love you, Rizukas. One, you're always on the lives. I appreciate it. How can someone be only worth 20 million? Now, I don't know how much money you have. And look, you could be a multi-billionaire and have hundreds of millions. Sorry, no one in this earth is only worth 20 million. Do you know how much 20 million pounds is? Only 20, you say. If Eddie is worth only 20, then good luck to him, because that's 20 more million than I have. Jeez. Jake is decent. Who said that? Wait 1 second. Who said that? Who said this? I've got to shout you out. Who's this? So I can't even find it. Someone said Jake Paul's decent. Oh, Jake. Yes, Jake. No, Jake is decent. Jake got decent hands. I thought you was thinking about Logan. Jake is decent. This is a good question. Do I think Beterbiev could have success at cruiserweight? I do. I think Beterbiev is a cruiserweight. He's literally huge, isn't he? I don't know how he makes 175 pounds. I'd love to know what he walks around on, so it'd be good to see. But I do think he could have success. But the only thing with Beterbiev is that he is, I'm pretty sure, 34, 35. So not long left. And he has been cracked a couple of times. I've seen him go down, I think, twice. So we'll see. Rooney 8MUFC says, thoughts on David Adelea. How far do you think he can go? And do you think Frank may push him more with Dubois recovering? No, I don't think Frank will push him. I think Frank's going to take his time with him. I don't know. At this stage, what is he, 4 or 5 fights in? You just don't know, do you? I mean, you can't really start talking about someone's success or where you think they're going to go until they've had, especially in the heavyweight division, 15 fights at least. I mean, it's so early. Like, for a heavyweight at this level, your first 15 fights are guys you're supposed to beat. They're literally putting you in with people you're supposed to beat. So if he has a slip up in the first 15, then that's a problem. It's what happens after that. We've seen that with Daniel Dubois now. I think Joe Joyce is legit, but the fact we've seen it with Daniel Dubois, he was in there against everyone he's supposed to beat and blow out. He did that, took another step up, and kind of got exposed a little bit, right? So we'll see. 2-6. H2O says, what's your thoughts about how boxing gimmick money fights are going, with hype fooling us with pay-per-views? You're going to get them. You're going to get them. It's not, I don't think it's a case of how it's been. It's always been like this. We've always had these kind of gimmick fights. I think that, I don't think they're as much as we think, but they're always there. You're going to get those kind of fights that shouldn't happen. I think I say us, but most of us here are hardcore boxing fans, right? We know the gimmick pay-per-views from the real shit, right? We know that Chocolatito Estrada isn't going to be on pay-per-view, isn't going to be too talked about by the casuals, but hardcore boxing fans are going to tune in for that one. We know that. So we can accept the crap because we get a bit of that now and again, you know? We get a bit of Baranchik versus Sapida. We get those kind of fights. So we can kind of accept the crap for now, as long as we get those ones. If we don't get those ones, then that's the problem. All right, super chat here from Ravit Anand. He says, with Eddie having AJ and Canelo under Matchroom's banner and him saying he would love to see a boxing UFC type banner, is he the man to do it, and how good, bad would that be for boxing to remove belt politics? He isn't the one to do it, because I don't think it's ever going to happen in boxing. That's the first one. Al Heyman tried it. I don't know if you guys remember when Al Heyman literally, it was almost like Al Heyman was signing someone every day. Al Heyman literally signed, it felt like everyone. And he wanted to do it. He even wanted to create a PBC belt, like the UFC belt. They were very, very close, very close to doing it. And he couldn't do it with all the power that he had. So I don't think it's ever going to happen. Look, it would be nice to remove the belt politics. I think we are starting to see some boxers not necessarily care too much about belts now. I mean, look, we saw what Josh did, right? Josh threw a belt away. So I think belt politics will always be there, but I don't think it's as powerful as it used to be. I think boxers now are wising up and sort of saying, F the belts, right? I don't want to fight for that belt or that belt. I want the fight. But with regards to Eddie somehow being able to make a UFC type thing, never. Not in boxing. No way, Jose. Jake Jansen here on Super Chat says, remember the days when the elite of elite went to war 2 or 3 times? Duran, Sugar Ray, and now AJ and Fury, one taking so long. Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. It is a shame. I don't know what to say. I don't even know how to answer that, man. It felt like, look, I wasn't alive. The funny thing is, I mean, I was alive for the back end of Sugar Ray and Hagler, but in the 70s, I wasn't alive. But when you watch it back, it just felt like there were so many big fights all the time. I don't know. I felt like fighters had to work a lot harder to get the big check. Nowadays, you got a lot of these young kids, and look, get your money, right? Get your money, fuck it. But you got a lot of these young kids that want the big M's, and I'm like, you ain't even done shit. That's the way I feel anyway when I look at it. I feel like, what? You want 10 million for what? What have you done? When fighters back in the day, it almost felt like you had to do so much to get your big check. Get your big check. Pacman, I think, was the B-side against Morales. Like, this was Pacman's first ever big paycheck. And I'm going to be wrong on this, but I think Pacman, before he got his big check, and it wasn't even that big, I think it was like 3 million or something against Morales, I think Pacman was already a free-weight world champion. I remember reading about it. And I remember Mayweather talking about his first big check was against Arturo Gatti. And he was the B-side on that one. And I think he got paid 3 or 4 million or something. And he at the time was already a 3 or 4-weight world champion or something like that anyway. What I'm trying to say is that they had to work hard. They had to work hard, boy. And now these kids come, one international belt, and they're talking about, yeah, pay me. Not even a belt, international or regular, or maybe even IBO. Pay me. Madness. Madness. I think I just missed the super chat. Apologies, I'm going to find it. Apologies, people. Shit, we've been going for over an hour. All right, we're going to go for another 25 minutes. All right, here we are. All right, Ronan Gibbons says, who's having a more disappointing season, Wolves or Liverpool? Wolves. Wolves are having a bad season, boy. The thing about Wolves, sorry for everyone that's not a football fan, but let's talk about football. Nothing wrong talking about football. The thing about Wolves is that Wolves finished, 7th last season, which was a good season, especially considering that the squad isn't too big and they played in Europe as well. So they played a lot more games than a lot of people. Their season started way back. But in the league, they only scored 51 goals in the league. This is Wolves, which isn't that great. Raul Jimenez got 17 of those goals. Obviously, he's out now. Diego Jota got 7 of those goals. He's on to Liverpool. So that means Diego Jota and Raul Jimenez got nearly half of Wolves' goals in the Premier League. How crazy is that? Both of them are not there. They need a goal scorer. Desperately, Wolves. Desperately. An out-and-out goal scorer. Yeah, but it's disappointing. Nuno's under pressure for the first time in his Wolves tenure as manager. Connor Cody's been dropped a couple of times, or been subbed. Captain of this team. It's not going well for Wolves. It's not going well at all. Ronan asking Wolves or Liverpool. He's taking a piss, isn't he? Avi Scholes says, did you see Kid Galahad looking likely to sign with PBC? Yeah, we spoke about it, Avi. Shocked me. I can't lie, I didn't see that one at all. Lee the Bald Guy, super chat. Great channel, Ade. Okay, I got one that seems a bit crazy, but I feel could work. Floyd versus Mike Tyson. Oh, Lee, I love you. I love you, but you're killing me. You're killing me, Lee. You are fucking killing me on this Sunday evening. That ain't working. That ain't working, bro. That ain't working. I appreciate the super chat. I love you. We follow each other on Twitter. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. Guys, can you do me a favor? Can everyone just stop what you're doing right now and smash that like button? Please. Come on, 200. Come on. Help a brother out. Hey, help a brother out. It would be appreciative. 2 seconds, peeps. Okay, someone's talking about, going back to the Conor conversation. Proddy J says, I disagree. If you're hungry and you want to ingrain a legacy, I've got no problem with Conor staying around. Agreed. I agree, but that's my point. I don't think Conor is hungry. That's what I'm trying to say. He's achieved everything he could achieve. You go into this sport, you don't necessarily at the start of it go in it for legacy, right? You go in it to make some money. That's the first thing. You go in it to make some money. Once you make some money and you think you're good enough, you go in it then to win some belts. That's what you do. And then if you're really hungry, you then start thinking about legacy. I don't think he's got to that really hungry stage. I just don't think he's that guy. I really don't. So you are correct, but I don't think you're that guy. I feel like there's what's going on in the comment section? I feel like there's little beef. There's a little beef in the comment section. You guys make me laugh. G-Man Boxing is in the building at lastminute.com. G-Man, what's good, brother? What's good? We need to do Addy and Friends. You let me down last week. You let me down. I called you. Oh, man. Okay, what's got? It's the Wilder Fury thing again. Jeez. Rome the Realist says, it's amazing to see Floyd hungry until 40 and still winning. Agreed. See, that's a guy that was like, I want to be the greatest. Like, honestly, Floyd wanted to be the greatest fighter of all time. Different level of hunger. No drinking, none of that crap, right? Always used to pretend, go to the clubs, not drink, and even come back from the clubs and go jogging. Just another level of mindset of an athlete. Another level. Another level. Yes, we see the flashy shopping and all that kind of stuff. Floyd's another level. I've never seen Floyd out of shape. I'm actually trying to think about it. Never seen him out of shape. And you think of some of the athletes now, even decent ones like Javante. I've actually seen him with a big ass belly. Broner, obviously completely out of shape. I've never seen Floyd. I don't think Floyd has walked around above 163, 164 before. I think he's that in shape. It's scary. Floyd's a machine. Floyd's a machine. Guys, do you think it might be possible? Do you think it's possible that we can get to 300 likes? I mean, am I asking too much? Is that possible? I don't know. I don't know. Scott Arbuckle says, GGG beats Andrade late stoppage. Wouldn't disagree with that. Wouldn't disagree with that, you know. I know a lot of people think GGG's done, but I mean, I'm not. I think Andrade does weird things in the ring. Like sometimes I feel like he falls over his own shots. He's trying some weird stuff sometimes, but we'll see what happens with him. 2 secs. A couple of people again asking about David Adelaide, big _ belly T. I spoke about him. We gotta wait. We gotta wait about David. Like it's almost like that's so difficult to know. It's almost like asking about a Premier League footballer that's made a couple of appearances. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to be in 5 years, 10 years time. Like all the fighters, he's fighting guys that should be beaten. Everyone he's fighting has been put in there to lose. Like he's not fighting a guy that's been put in there to win. They've been put in there to lose and survive. So he's supposed to look good. He's supposed to look dominant, and he is. We got to wait until we get to 15, 16 fights of him. And that ain't going to happen until 2022. Super chat here from Leo Williams says, White Povetkin 2 prediction. Good question. Good question. I think the longer layoff has helped Dillian White. He's obviously added to his camp. Povetkin is going to be, what, 41, 42? That's old. But let's not fuck about. That's old. You know, I do wonder though. You know, sometimes I do wonder about the damage that Dillian White's taken in the last 4 or 5 years, or maybe even a bit longer. Dillian White has been in fights that have been brutal, like brutal. Like I think people forget that. Like, I think people forget that the knockout from AJ. I think people forget the Chisora fight, the first one. I mean, those guys were taking lumps out of each other. Joseph Parker, Oscar Rivas. I was there for the Maris Vac fight. That he got hit a couple of times in that fight, so he's got checked. And now this knockout against Povetkin, he has taken damage. You know, like he's not a fresh fighter. Don't get me wrong. I don't think so. If that's fresh and that's damage, I think he's there. I don't think he's there, but he's getting close to going past 12. If that makes any sense. If you think of it as a clock, so 9, 3, 12. He's definitely getting close to going past 12. So I think he's damaged. I think he's like, I think if he gets clipped, he's in trouble again. And we know Povetkin can clip him. That all being said, I predict White to win. But, man, he's getting close. He's getting very close to the point where I feel like he's there for the taking of any other heavyweight just because there's a lot of damage now. There's a lot of miles on the clock with him. He's going 12 rounds with a lot of these guys, and they're tough fights. They're very tough fights, so we'll see. The fight where I didn't think he took damage, and we need to see more of that Dillian White, is the second Chisora fight. I actually didn't think he took much damage. I think he was on the ropes, and I think he was doing good work on the ropes. I really do. Even though the fight was close, I think he was actually doing quite good work. That guy needs to come out a bit more. If it's the guy that we're seeing that's fighting Parker and Rivas and AJ, and boy, that career ain't gonna last long. Ain't gonna last long at all. Good question though. Good question. I think I just saw someone. Michael N says, Ade, do you think Williams beats Eubank? No, I don't. I think Williams is good, but I think Eubank's a level above. That's what I think. That's what I think. Could be wrong. Happy to say I could be wrong. What is going on in the chat? Someone's saying here, I can't stand racism. Is there something going on in the chats? Guys, come on. If there is any of that in the chat, let's not. Come on, please, people. Like, we have enough of that on that fucking outside world. Like, I like to think that this chat that we guys have amongst ourselves can just be cool and fun, because there's enough of crap going on outside in Twitter world and real world, and we don't need to bring it on here. So please, if there is any of that, come on, man, let's get rid of it. Please, I beg. Super chat here from Lee the Bald Guy. All right, guys, so it's 12 minutes past. We're going to go until 20 past. I'm not joking, I've got to get ready for work tomorrow. I've got to be up at 4:30. I noticed Rob from Boxing Social is doing another YouTube channel. Has this thing with Spencer Tunde and Michelle Joy Phelps pushed him away? That's a good question. I don't know. I might actually call him and ask. I don't know. It must hurt you a little bit, right? I mean, you're getting a lot of stick and this and that. I personally think Rob's such a good interviewer that Rob could do other stuff. Like, he's definitely into like the fucking Wire, and he loves I think he likes his cricket, and he loves Chelsea, big Chelsea fans. I think Rob could do other stuff, but I think it's boxing's loss if Rob walks away from Boxing Social. I don't think he will, but it's boxing's loss. Super chat here from Jake Jansen says, I reckon if McGregor moves up a couple of weight classes and takes on John Jones, Conor can easily knock him out with that left hand at light heavy. Now you, my friend, have been drinking the Gentleman Jack. That ain't happening. Captain Rhodes says, Ade, what's up, Captain Rhodes? Captain Rhodes has been around for ages. Ages. I appreciate it, man. I really do. Pound for pound boxing says, only peace here. Yes. Guys, really, man. Honestly, please. Only peace here. That's all I ask for, man, because shit is too stressful out here already. And my life, I feel like it's so stressful that when I come here and sit down, I just want to enjoy it. So, look, we can all take a bit of banter, right? Everyone can take a bit of banter, but when it becomes like racist or anything like that in the comment section, it's just not needed, man. Just not needed. So yeah, look, I can't block you. I'm not going to block anyone, because I think we can all like grow up a little bit. But yeah, nothing racist in the chats, please, peeps. Yeah, Brezzy Gas says that Rob had a feud with Joey Phelps. Yeah, he did, but we spoke about this a couple of times. Yeah, I can't really divulge what me and Rob spoke about, but we spoke about this a couple of times. Scott Arbuckle says, Ade, how big is Joshua in Africa? Will he be able to attract more fighters to come from that region? He's big, but not super big. Like obviously in Africa, or let me talk from the countries I've been to, but mainly Nigeria. Football just is fucking God. It's like I can't explain to you how big football is over there. Like they're mad. They're actually mad. So AJ's big just because Nigerian and obviously heavyweight champion of the world, blah blah blah. But football is so far in front of everything that it's crazy. Yeah, so I don't know. And he needs to go back there more. Look, if AJ was to have a fight in Nigeria, then obviously it's gone, right? It'd be huge. And then he's a superstar. But if he doesn't, then I just don't know. I just don't think it'll be that big. Amandeep Jahal says, Ade, any tips to stay off the booze during lockdown? Feel like I'm asking the wrong person. You are asking the wrong person. Evidently, those are nearly empty bottles. You are asking, you're fucking asking the wrong person. All right, last 5 minutes, peeps. Daniel White says, where does Loma go from here? No idea. I would think 130, but I think his ego is probably a bit like Conor when Conor lost to Nate Diaz at 170, and Conor then went, instead of having the rematch at 155, which makes more sense for Conor, he was like, no, I want the rematch at 170. I feel like Loma wants, his ego is so hurt and dent right now, he wants the Teofimo Lopez fight at 135. 130 he's weight, right? He should go Shakur Stevenson, the winner of Bichelt versus Valdez, but he's going to want to go 135 to show that he is the man at 135 still. I'm not going to rule him out. I'm not saying he's done. 2 secs. 2 secs. Caleb Plant is fighting this week. Did not know that. Did not know that. Honestly, didn't know that. All right, last couple of questions. You know what? Last couple of questions. Actually, let's stay with. Oh, let's go. We'll go half past. What is going on with Anthony Yard? Anthony Yard, obviously, he's got a YouTube channel. My friend actually is the one that interviewed him on that YouTube channel. And he said, we're going to like basically make some revelations this week and we're going to, what's happened? Like things are changing, this is going to happen. Nothing's happened. I'm not quite sure what's going on with Yard and Tunde and all that. Look, I've always said I think the relationship is like this. So I've said, as much as everyone said he should get rid of Tunde, I've said just add someone else to the camp. Like he's not going to get rid of Tunde. It's almost like brother, uncle, whatever relationship. He's not going to just add someone else to the camp. Add another name. That's the best thing. Like what AJ did with Rob McCracken. Like what Dylan White's doing right now with Xavier Miller. Just add someone else to the camp if you're not going to leave. But it's weird how he done that video and now he's gone quiet. Does anyone have any idea who Caleb Plant is fighting? I have no idea. What's this? Rizukas one says Nigeria is politically and militarily unstable. To be honest with you, when look, sometimes you can only go on your own personal experiences. I lived there, but I came back. It'll be 2 years in May that I came back, and I was there for like 2 years with my ex. We had a couple of crazy bits out there, but nothing crazy. I didn't feel like it was unsafe and unstable. In fact, you see a lot of fucking billionaires and millionaires out there and people just living their life and enjoying it, yachts. Like, it's crazy. Until you go there, it's crazy to think of, you wouldn't think it is the way it is. You've got to go there and experience. I don't know. But politically unstable, yeah. But there is a president and, I mean, America's politically unstable. I mean, are we going to fucking run away from there? All right, 2 secs. Oh, so shit, so Plant is fighting Truex, Caleb Truex. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Plant will beat him. That's interesting. And that's, see, this is the funny thing here. People were getting mad about Canelo fighting Yildirim. Canelo fought Callum Smith recently. He's fighting Yildirim. No one's getting mad about Caleb Truex. He's got the IBF belt. Unbeaten Caleb Truex. Sorry, unbeaten Caleb Plant fighting Caleb Truex. Crazy. It's funny how there's two Calebs fighting each other. All right, 2 seconds. Are we done? I think we might be done, you know, peeps. I think we might be done. 20 past. I've tried. I've gone for 1 hour and 20 minutes. All right, guys, please, it's 251 likes. I really would appreciate 300. Can we smash this button? Can I see it go up, please? Let me have a look at the button. 252, 253. Come on, please. 300 is good. I deserve 300 for getting an hour and 20 minutes. I really do. 259. Pound for Pound Boxing says, Addy, when are you having AJ on? AJ did tell me he's going to come on this channel. No bullshit. He said, yeah, we're going to come on. We're going to make it happen. COVID happened. 273. 300 will be good. 300 will be good. Jake Jansen is trolling here. Jake Jansen says, Super Chat, can Dwayne Johnson beat someone like Joseph Parker or JJ? Did you see the power he shows in Fast and Furious? You are trolling. I'm not even going to answer it. 281. Come on, 300 before we shout and go. Please. Get him to Zoom. You know, that's what I'm probably, it's going to have to be a Zoom. But I'm not a fan of Zooms. I can't lie to you. That's why I've not done, you know, a lot of channels started Zoom interviews with people. Not a fan at all. I'm not a fan of the mic quality. I'm not a fan. There's so many things I'm not a fan of, which is why I don't want to do it. But we'll see. We'll see. Guys, 283. Can we get to 300, please? Can we get to 300 likes, please? Raj Anwar says, who's the best fight for Eubank? They're going to try and set up the Murata fight, aren't they? That's what they're going to do. They're going to try and do the Murata fight. And we'll see. I actually would prefer to see Williams than Murata. I love a UK dust up. I really do love it. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, last question here. Oh, we're nearly at 293. 300 likes, please, peeps. Last question is, someone's asked about Carl Frampton. Do I think he'll become a free world champion? Obviously, he takes on Jamal Herring soon. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw a video of Jamal Herring, like, I think he was doing some weights. He's fucking huge. I can't believe how these guys cut weight. Honestly, I don't know how these guys cut weight. All of them should have, like, YouTube channels about dieting. The way they can just drop pounds is incredible. But we'll see. Oh, 300. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, fuckers. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not... See, someone saying I should wait until I can do AJ in person rather than a Zoom. I agree with you. I agree with you. I hate going when there's so many questions. I feel bad. I feel bad. Do you think Daniel Dubois was a little overrated too soon? Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. I mean, people got far too excited about those wins against fucking Fujimoto and Tete and Latte and all that kind of stuff. You know, like, way too excited. Joyce Usyk and AJ undercard won't happen. AJ undercards is mainly fighters. Not all the time, but a lot of time it's AJ's fighters. We'll see what happens. Like, he normally likes to put his own fighters on them. Fighters that are signed to 258 management. Not all the time, but we'll see. But there's no way Joyce Usyk is going on an AJ undercard. It's too... I think it's almost... That's actually a big fight. So there's no way. Air Max 90 King says, Pack or big? Pack all day. Pack all day. What kind of question is that? What kind of question is that? What in the hell? All right, guys. Is AJ watching that? Should we check? Let's have a look. 1 second. Let me check my phone. 2 secs. I'm not even joking. I'm actually checking Instagram to see if there's anything, if he is watching. Nope. He ain't watching. Yeah. Ain't happening. Ain't happening. All right, guys. Peace and love, everyone. Thank you, as always, for watching the live stream on this Sunday, this glorious Sunday. Remember to tune into Sky Sports tomorrow, where I shall be there doing my thing. I'm on Sky Sports tomorrow from 10 to 1. Sorry, 10 to 11, and then 1 to 2. Peace and love.